if you want $1 million and you want to set the mindset for that, you can do that. Whatever it is.
Yeah, you can do it. You can. He said so. He said, I give you choice. Choose better. Why would you choose what you don't want to live in, what you don't want to participate in? But we do it. We do it all the time. And you say, well, yeah, what kind of do it? No, no, no. Oh, I always had an excuse. Right now, yeah, I always have them on snappies. You have to give that up.
Yeah.
But that's the only thing is your foolishness. That's all you have to give up. Because as long as you're doing the foolishness, you're experiencing it. So if you want a sane life, then you have to be sane in your thinking and feeling because that's your world of experiencing, isn't it?
It is. I was thinking as you were speaking, about $1 million, for example. Today, kids, I mean, teenagers, younger than that even, are becoming millionaires because they get on these online systems now and they're doing things that are literally child's play for them, and they're creating multiple $1 million businesses. So I was talking to my wife about this the other evening, and she says, well, they grew up into it. I said, but the wonderful thing is, it's not like it's something that can't be learned. If a child can do it, if an adult would take the time to discover what the child is doing to become a multimillionaire, that adult will also become a multimillionaire because God is no respecter of person.
Right. There you are. Right away. If you're running around in the world with a chip on your shoulder,
Right.
someone's going to challenge you.
Yeah.
And then what do? Get angry? Come on. Look, you can't start a war with another country without being in a war yourself.
Yeah.
And you can inflict a lot of damage on it, but it's being conflicted on you too. So why not negotiate?
Yeah.
I mean, isn't that what the whole world order is about? Negotiation,
Should be.
or it should be anyway. But
Yeah.
I mean, there's those who don't want to, but
Yeah.
you know, pull shade down.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. But you see, the thing of it is, you really will enjoy it once you get into it. You really will. In other words, you'll look forward to it. And the only thing you'll be disappointed about is that you can't share it with those closest to you.
Yeah.
I mean that's really painful. That you don't look. If you didn't like this life that you're living 100%, you got to think different now. You see, because there's nothing transforming in death. So you'll be the same person, a new body and all that, but you're still going to be operating from the mindsets that you take with you. And you are going to take them with you. Believe me, you are. Because it tells you nothing changes until you change your mind, change your world. That's how it operates. You can argue with it all you want, and people come up with pretty good arguments. Yeah, they really do. But the thing of it is that what are you experiencing, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
It,
Yeah. I wanted to touch on what you said. You said discovering these principles, they're so wonderful. And one of the heartaches is that you can't share them with those who are closest with you. And for most of us, we find that that's the case. But there's another heartache. The other heartache that I discovered was that it took me so long. And I say that because some of you are, as kids, you're learning these principles. So you have a whole lifetime to experiment with them, to test them for yourself. You know, it took me to get later in my life, and I know that Mr. Lindell can identify what I'm saying. So the two heartaches that you have is that you can't share these principles with loved ones. Now, fortunately, some of you have the ability to uh, exchange with your loved ones and you're both on the same accord and you're sharing these principles. That's not most of us. But the other thing is, you also are learning these things while you're fairly young. And like I said, you have a whole lifetime to experiment and to test these things for yourself.
Well, I mean, it's really, I don't know where you could have gotten it, but it is really just an attitude toward life if you're not enjoying it. So, in other words, that brings me back to what Neville told me. He says, I'm not hearing that you're on your own side, and we see people every day,
Yeah,
and we know they're not on their own side because they're not enjoying life. I mean, look, if you're angry, you feel the angry, right?
absolutely.
If you're upset, you feel the upset. So why would you want to feel those things? I mean, you're to be cooperative in this world of experiencing. I mean, everybody should be cooperative. I mean, within reason, of course, yeah, but still, uh, there are common rules that we have to abide by,
Yeah.
and that is we don't take advantage of people. You know that do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Well, come on. I mean, how can you get around that?
You can't. You can't.
But they try.
Yeah. And there's people that teach that you can get around that, but the truth of the matter is you can't. And the reason why you can't is because we're all connected. And it goes back to what Mr. Lindell said earlier. There's only God. So if there's only God, if you're doing it to another, you're doing it to yourself because of course you're doing it to the God within each of you.
I'm saying that there's only God because
Absolutely.
that's what God said.
I
There's
understand.
only God. That's the reason why I'm saying it. I didn't.
I knew it wasn't your ideal.
Well,
Understood.
we can even be happy in our sinning,
Absolutely.
really,
Yeah.
because yeah, let me put it this way: is God worried about what you're going to do? Of course not.
No.
If he was worried about what you were going to do with the power, I mean, wouldn't he have put parameters on it?
Absolutely.
I mean, come on. Just like your little kids, you say, "Oh, you can go there, but I want you back here at a certain time." Well, there you are.
Yeah.
See, and we do have to do that too,
Yeah.
because we have to be knowledgeable of what. And I wasn't. I was too busy working, and it was all left up to my wife.
Yeah.
See, and it kind of comes to fruition as you move along. And so when I'm older, I learned a lot of good lessons, but everything I learned it for is already gone.
Yeah.
so, so I'm just out here hanging with good news, but we're all being brainwashed by the general advertising and all of that. We're actually being chosen, told what to do, and giving you a reason to do it, even if it's just that, well, you'll smell better. But that's enough, isn't it, for some?
It is. The thing is, they're so clever that they give it in the guise of it's our ideal. So we think that it's our ideal to go out and get that new cologne or that go to McDonald's and get that quarter pounder or Big Mac because we just had a desire for it, not realizing that we had 10 commercials flashing the exact same thing repeatedly to us. So, yeah,
Well, look at it this way. If you were out on the desert, would you want a diamond ring or would you want a nice big McDowell? You throw the rings in, that's it. Just give me that hamburger.
yeah,
See? Or if it was water or whatever.
yeah,
And actually, you do have to experience not having it to realize that it's you not having it,
yeah,
and that it's not necessary for you not to have it.
yeah,
See, people don't realize. you're not regimented to go through these things you're complaining about. It's you're complaining about them, and all things produce after their own kind. So look out, you're going to get more to complain about, and then you'll be upset even again, and it goes on and on and on. Hey, I went through all of this. I did it. I did it just exactly what I'm telling them. That's what I did. And when I heard what Neville Goddard had to say, it was like, what? But I knew I had heard something worthy of my attention. Now, why? Because there is that in you that does know that you know, and he's telling you, so shut up and listen, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I like that you said that, listen, you're not regimented to go through the things that you're complaining about, but because you're complaining about them, those are the things that are continuously being brought up in your life.
That's it. That's it. That's exactly it. You see, look, you're offered an inheritance of good and good news about the inheritance that it's yours. But what are you claiming? You're sitting there complaining about, this hurts and that hurts. Come on. And I'm not saying it doesn't. I'm
Absolutely.
not telling you it doesn't hurt. I'm not telling you you're not going through that. What I'm telling you is that you've taken it on yourself to be it. If you think about it too much, right?
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
if you don't want it, don't think about it. Think only on things that are lovely and a good report. And you gotta get that second word there. Think only on things. See, so if you're outside that line of thinking on things that are lovely and a good report, that's what you're going to be experiencing because it's your word, right?
Absolutely. And if only you're only experiencing it in mindset. Sometimes you don't physically have to be going through something, but you could be going through all kind of chaos or all kind of hell in your thinking. And a lot of it's because of what we've given our attention to. So if you want to shift from hell to heaven, check your attitude.
Well, I'll put it this way. You are choosing
Yeah,
what? That's it. You are choosing what? If you don't like it, choose what you're choosing differently. Isn't that really all there is to it?
I'm
I mean,
laughing because as simple as you're making it, that's it.
let's just listen to what Jesus said.
Yeah,
He just cut it right down to the bone, right there.
yeah,
He told you everything you needed to know right there. And it wasn't future, it was present, right?
absolutely.
See, that's what they don't. People they read scripture and well, it happened 2,000 years ago. What does that got to do with me here now today? Everything, absolutely everything to do with you here today, because what was true then is still the same truth now, isn't it?
It is. Yeah,
Yeah. You have to get in the mood. You have to be hungry to want to know. And that's what I'm always looking for, someone who's hungry to know
yeah,
first person. And you can, because he's told you that you can choose to know. Isn't that right?
it's true.
In other words, choose this day. Well, what am I choosing? I'm choosing to know. And you're given to know, hey, he's waiting to tell you what you can do if you just listen. But you have to sit still and listen. And that was that was really something for me to do. I mean, I was very, very lenient on myself, but that setting in the silence. But like I said, you do it for 30 days. Just a few minutes. I mean, really, really focus on what you're thinking for a few minutes and keep doing that. And the next thing you'll notice is that it's expanding. And it'll keep expanding as long as you're focused on it. And so hopefully it's a good idea instead of a bad one.
Yeah,
Because that you're gonna get it. It's got your name on it. That's it.
you're right. And you said, listen, you're given to choose to know. So the question for each creator out there What is it that you want to know? Then simply choose to know. Go about doing whatever you need to do to discover, to find out the knowing. And as you open your mind, open and quicken, it's going to be revealed.
Look, I ask people, what do you want?
Yeah.
And they look at you like, well, what do you mean? Oh, what do you mean? What do I mean? What do you want? See, if you don't know what you want, how can it be given you if you don't know what you want? So first off, what do you want? What are you looking for? Actually, you should be looking for the how to believe better than the best you do right now, because believing is really the stamp of approval, isn't it?
Absolutely.
So, so, and you do believe an awful lot of things. If you sit and think about it, what do I believe? And you start thinking about it, and then evaluate it. Why am I thinking this? Is this helping me? Is it leading me where I want to go? If it isn't, why am I thinking about it? You got the little trash can there. Well, no, I did that. I think I told you about it. When I had the hall,
Yeah.
I had a 55-gallon drum.
Yeah.
Okay, and it was all painted flat black inside, so it was just no reflection at all. I mean, you look down in there, it looks like it's 150 feet down. And then what I told him, I says, look, we're playing a part here. So let's give ourselves a good script. We've figured these things that really aren't adding to our better. So let's take them over there and just dump them in there. All the problems you want to get, just dump them in there, and then forget about it. Can you do that? I don't think so. Not right away, anyway. but but if you'll stick with it, eventually you will. You will just look. That's our main problem. We won't let go. You have to let go. God's not going to take anything away from you. You have to let it go. So if you don't let it go, then you suffer it or you enjoy it. But what are you holding on to? That's all you're asking. If you're not enjoying life, then you're holding on to something you really don't need.
Hmm.
Really?
That's powerful. That's powerful. And I want to repeat it. If you're not enjoying life, then you're holding on to something that you really don't need. What is that thing that you're holding on to that's keeping you from enjoying life?
Yeah. Like I said, people have these guys that I ask him, what do you want? He goes, how about $1 million? Well, okay. It's like I told the other guy, you want $1 million, sit and make a mindset for it, because your mindsets all operate automatically, and you have mindsets for different things, and it actually operates automatically because it's as you think you are, you do, you have, you be, and there it's all spelled out for you right there, all of it. And all you have to do is test it. Isn't that right?
Absolutely. That's our subject today. And I want to touch on what you just said about the $1 million or whatever it is that you want. You said what you need to do is create a mindset for whatever that thing is, a loving relationship, more money, better health. Create a mindset for it. Now, to understand this, it's not just thinking. Lifestyle always follows mindset. If you say you truly believe something, lifestyle is going to follow that. So, the person that wants to become a millionaire, for example, he or she's going to start doing things that millionaires do. And of course, that's going to allow them to create the multi-million-dollar business. A person that wants to be in a loving relationship, he or she's going to do what people in a loving relationship does, and mindset's going to follow. A person that wants better health, they're going to start practicing the lifestyle of better health, and that's going to be. But first and foremost, it starts off as a mindset.
It all goes on in here
Yeah,
first.
absolutely.
Is that not right? That's right. It
That's right.
all goes on in here first.
Absolutely.
So all you have to do is check on what are you doing in here, not your environment.
Yeah.
That's a dream in a dream.
Yeah.
And I can tell you this: when I'm in the other dream, this is a dream, and when you're in the here, that's a dream. But you can separate the two if you'll just discipline yourself to think feelingly only on what you desire to make in your world of yourself. It's that simple, really, isn't it?
It is that simple.
And just look at the double-mindedness that you have, and you'll see right there that that's where you mess it up, right there.
True.
You're always thinking ahead of the evidence you're experiencing. So if you understand you are thinking ahead of the evidence you're experiencing, then you have the opportunity to change it, right?
Absolutely. Good news.
I think back to how I thought before I heard all of this, and wow. No, no. You're forgiven as you forgive. Isn't that what it says?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
You don't forgive him, he's not going to forgive you. So that means making judgments.
Yeah.
See? And you're told not to judge by appearances.
Yeah.
See, because if you judge by appearances, you just keep repeating the appearances in your world. And if that's okay, okay. But if it's not, stop it.
Yeah.
No, you have to get in the right mood about this.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
It
I
is.
mean, come on. You really have to be in a mood, in a loving mood, don't you?
You do.
Because I mean, that's all Jesus talked about was love everybody, wasn't it?
Absolutely.
Oh, well, then who are you going to judge? See, even God's not going to judge you. Judgment is the. So they said, well, God's the final judge. Oh, that he is. But that doesn't mean he's going to make a judgment. He might just say, you're forgiven.
Yeah.
And he will if you'll forgive yourself. You see, you're holding up the show. You may not know it, but you're actually holding up the show that you want to participate in. So the only thing you have to correct is yourself. Oh, I have found the enemy and he is I. I mean, Pogo put it right there. What you think upon, and it grows. I mean, it really does. If you're dwelling on a problem, it's just going to be a bigger problem, right?
Absolutely.
Because you're drawing to you what you're thinking upon. It's really simple, but to tell you the truth, it isn't. It is not accepted that way. See, I know what it is to believe and not to believe. Yeah, I'm pretty smart, huh? You believe what you want and you don't believe what you don't want. Now that says it as simple as I can. I know there will be an awful lot of stringers hanging on that, but the point is that you're in charge. That's what you got to tell yourself. That I'm in charge of this life. I was given to choose this thing, so therefore I am choosing, even if I'm unaware that I'm choosing. But that's what we're here for, isn't it? That you know that you're actually choosing day by day, week by week, month by month. You're choosing it. And if you don't catch yourself, you could be setting yourself up for a problem. Or you can set yourself free because you're given. Choose, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And you were talking about the choosing. You said you're either choosing or you're not choosing. And I think, like I said, certain things that are said, I want to get on the desk and just say, wow, you're giving something here. It's going to be missed because it sounds so practical. And what we're giving them is the art and the tools for desired change. And it's thinking, but nobody's going to get it because it sounds so practical, so easy. And we're not throwing a lot of hocus pocus into it and a lot of this and a lot of that. And it's going to be missed.
No, I didn't get it because of that. You know, it had to seem to have an official stamp on it or something. You know, and well, you know, you may not agree with it, but that doesn't mean you're not going to go along with it.
Yeah.
Because I can tell you this, there are a lot of people going to church who really have no idea of why they're going to church.
Yeah.
I mean, they have all kinds of reasons they'll tell you, but there's only one reason you go there to get information to have a better life.
Yeah.
But you must go in the mood of a better life, right?
Absolutely.
He tells you that you're praying ceaselessly, and if you're not living what you or if you're living what you're praying and you don't like it, well, then you've got to change your prayers, right?
Yeah.
Come on, you're told you're asking or you're asking amiss. The what? That's it. You're asking or you're asking amiss. And how's that? Well, one way is going and whining and crying to God about this, that, and the other when He gave you choose this day, and you are choosing this day, whether you're aware you're doing so or not. But why not be aware of what you're choosing and be happy, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. All it takes is you paying attention. That's all. The individual must pay attention to what he's doing because that's how he knows what he's doing. Hey, I'm going to tell you, when you actually go into scripture and see those one-liner sentences that Jesus gave to the people, and you just look out at the people and you see the expression on their faces that ain't what they got at all.
Yeah.
See, because they're not relying on the fact that God is all things to all, and that he won't miss it. So it won't be his fault if you didn't get what you want. It's your fault if you didn't get what you want because you weren't looking for it. You were looking for why you weren't going to get it, and that's why you didn't even show up.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Hey, I know this because I was in that, and I know you were too.
Oh, absolutely. And sometimes I fall back into it. Sometimes I fall back into it. So, as we're winding down and we're closing, what would you say to the listening audience about testing it for themselves?
Yeah, well, come on. You know, if you want to own it, test it. Isn't that it?
Absolutely.
I mean, if you're saying that's what you believe, that's what you want, well, then test it. It doesn't cost you anything. You don't have to tell anybody else what you're doing. As a matter of fact, I would suggest that you don't at
I
first,
agree. I agree.
because you know they'll just talk you down. I know I got talked down a lot of times, and then, well, I won't go into that. Yeah, Fonzie rules. Yeah, attitude. That's all it is. I mean, really, when you come right down, that's all it is. It's your attitude, you know, and not where you got them, so you can blame somebody else. But if you have it, you experience it, and if you don't want to experience it, then don't have it, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, as we're closing on that note, sir, like I say, always a pleasure.
Oh, yes, it is. Yes, it is. You can tell I'm enjoying myself,
Absolutely.
and isn't that the way? Isn't that what you're supposed to be doing?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
You give and choose this day. Why not choose to be happy?
Yeah. Why not?
How many people actually choose to be happy?
Very few.
Yeah, walk down the street and pass all these people and look at the expressions on their faces. You know, they ain't liking what they're doing.
Absolutely.
I mean, you can tell it,
Yeah.
but you can't tell them.
No.
See, that's the whole thing. Like I said, the one real sadness I have is that I can't pass it on.
Yeah.
I can be it for them, but not to them.
Well, and I'll say this, you are passing it on.
Oh, thank you.
You are passing it on.
But I don't know what I'm passing on, to tell you the truth, because well, yeah, I'm always looking for a way to connect to the people their own message,
Yeah.
because I mean that's what it is. I mean, even Neville told me, "Hey, this is your own message. I didn't make any of it up." Yeah, that's what he told the audience, didn't he?
Yeah.
So there you are. It's yours. It was given, a given by God. It was given, just like all your many gifts that you haven't recognized yet, but that you do have them. Believe me, you do have them. All you need is the perseverance in following through on what you say you believe, right?
Absolutely. I like that you ended with all of your many gifts that you're not even experiencing yet. And I know that many of the listeners are going to begin experiencing many of those gifts that they don't even know that they have yet.
Yeah, they're not even actually giving the gratitude for the ones they have
Yeah.
by experiencing it.
Yeah.
I mean, it says, what does it say? Worshiping God is using his gifts.
Yeah.
So you must already have them, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Just put them into action.
Absolutely. Well, sir, it's been a pleasure.
Yes, it has. Yes, it has.
We'll talk to you soon. Have a great one.
Oh, yeah. See you next Tuesday.
See you next Tuesday.
People just want to know what you did to be successful.
The 4 CDs that I have out there, it's all there. If you took any one of the CDs and actually followed through on what you understood there, you could change your mind, change your world. All you have to do is just listen to the CDs. It's always reiteration and reiteration.
I want to go back to the 4 CD set. Go to metaphysicalarttheater.com. We can only mail in the U.S. right now, but for those who are outside the U.S., we can send you a digital bundle with everything, so you'll get the enjoyment without waiting for it in the mail. Matter of fact, those who are in the U.S., if you would rather have the digital copies, we can do that as well. metaphysicalarttheater.com.